My boyfriend wants me to buy an fixer-upper and he'll do the work, but I am scared as the relationship is unstable. As it says in the title, my F32 boyfriend, M44, wants me to buy a house in our neighborhood. I recently sold my house, and my 11 years/old son and I've been living with my boyfriend in a home he owns since November. The house is a fixer-upper. Someone was renovating and it was foreclosed on. It needs a lot of work. My boyfriend has flipped multiple houses in the past, and does really nice work. I do have the money to buy this house from the equity in my old house. Here's the thing, though. Things with my boyfriend aren't exactly stable. He has broken up with me twice in the last month and we got back together. I am nervous to go into this with him for two reasons. 1. If we break up I will not have a house to live in, as the new house is uninhabitable as it is. 2. If we break up, he maintains that he will do the work anyway and will sign a guarantee, but I'm worried we can't work together. When I explain either of these points to him, he tells me I am stupid, I think I know everything, and I don't think. He says my line of thinking is immature and I'm acting like a child. I feel like I'm protecting myself. I said I'd be happy to do it with him down the road when our relationship is more stable, but I just can't trust that we will stay together right now. He said that the straw is getting thinner every day because of my immature thinking like this, which to me is an indicator that he will break up with me again. I don't know what to do. Is this a wise investment? Am I being stupid? What do I do? Too long didn't read. My boyfriend wants me to buy a house for him to fix up as an investment for myself, but I'm afraid to commit to anything as the relationship is unstable. Girl, no. If a relationship isn't stable, you don't make any financial decisions nor have kids. Do not do it. He is acting like a child. If he wants the house, fine, he can buy it. Your son deserves a stable home and all you're giving him is instability and fear. You need to dump him. Your son deserves so much better than what you're exposing him to. This is not healthy. Move out, buy a house that is move-in ready and will be a safe space for your son. Hard no. Your first priority should be maintaining financial and emotional stability for yourself and your son. If he's that successful a flipper, he should have money of his own to invest or be able to obtain a loan. He has broken up with me twice in the last month and we got back together. He tells me I am stupid. You'd be absolutely insane to do this. You'd be insane to stay with him, but the last thing you need is to spend all your money on an uninhabitable house that is completely in the air on the whims of a person as unhinged as they are. When I explain either of these points to him, he tells me I am stupid, I think I know everything, and I don't think. He says my line of thinking is immature and I'm acting like a child. Why are you dating someone who talks to you like this, who clearly has no respect for you? Is this what you want your son to learn about how men should treat their partners? Why don't you take some of that equity from selling your house and get your own house or apartment for you and your son to live in peace? Wouldn't it be nice to not live with someone that calls you stupid and immature all the time? What? Why are you with someone who doesn't give you security nor stability? With a child? Why are you exposing your child to a man who disrespects and belittles his mother? He tells me I am stupid, I think I know everything, and I don't think. He says my line of thinking is immature and I'm acting like a child. So, he's at minimum, verbally/emotionally abusive. He said that the straw is getting thinner every day because of my immature thinking like this, which to me is an indicator that he will break up with me again. So, he's emotionally terrorizing you, because this is what it is. He's vaguely, not so vaguely, threatening you with a breakup if you don't do as he says. I feel like I'm protecting myself. Not enough. You need to protect yourself 100%, which means your mental and emotional too, and right now, you're just allowing him to thrash you. What does he even bring to the table? Please, leave him. He's controlling and abusive, and he's already done enough damage to you and your son as is. I, F27, think my fiancé, M33, resentful about how much engagement ring costed him. We've been together for a bit over 2 years, engaged for 2 months. Back in the fall he asked me what type of rings do I like. I was at work at the time, so I just quickly sent 2 pictures of rings I liked, one very simple standard type and other one more fancy type I liked. I didn't specify which one of 2 I wanted more. I also sent 1 picture of the type I strongly do not not like. On the New Year's Eve he proposed and ring was the fancier one I've sent. It's indeed was perfect. Turns out he went to the jeweler and it was specifically designed for me. All the diamonds picked personally, etc, etc. I was very happy with the ring and engagement. Now, he sometimes comments on how expensive it was. When some couple who we know got engaged he said your ring is better than hers. But here's more, we've had 2 fights since engagement as we have some stressful events, moving to a different city. In every fight he is now asking me to give him ring back, so he'd sell it. Seems he really afraid of me doing something with it, or leaving with it, or I'd even what. I found receipt in the drawer in his office. It's $14,000. I asked him to get me cheaper ring because it seems like he's not comfortable with what he paid. He doesn't want to get cheaper ring, but I feel like I'm borrowing it essentially. Any advice would be very appreciated. Too long didn't read. Fiancé proposed with expensive ring. Now if we have a fight he demands it back and seems to feel unsettled about the price. He does not get to eat his cake and have it, too. He cannot tell you in one breath that he wants you to give him back the ring so he can sell it and in the next refuse to get you a cheaper ring. At any rate, the ring is bought. A ring that expensive should be insured, if he is genuinely worried about something happening to it. The problem is that he has revealed himself to be at the very least an extremely ungracious person. Holding an expensive gift over the recipient's head, particularly as big a symbol as an engagement ring, is fucked up. I'm sure he's feeling some economic anxiety, let's say, about this purchase. That's understandable, but he cannot shove that anxiety onto you. Time for a very serious conversation about why he insists on weaponizing this symbol of your love, and until that's resolved, no wedding planning should take place. Maybe this is a good opportunity for some premarital counseling. He paid $14K for it, but if he sold it back he wouldn't get $14K for it. But unless he's filthy rich he's a moron for spending that much in the first place. That's like half a year's salary for some people. Holding the ring over your head, demanding it back to sell when you fight. That's not signs of a healthy or loving relationship. The ring is a source of pride for him, but since he has weaponized it, you need to have a come to Jesus talk. Tell him that you love him and the ring and that you especially love how he selected each jewel. Then add that as much as you love all of that, if he asks for the ring again, not only will you give it back, but that the relationship will be over. You need to say it and mean it, because if he does and you don't have a move after that. The next time you ask me to give you back the ring as part of an argument, I'm going to do as you ask, and you'll have to find someone else to give it to, because I'll be gone. So stop saying it unless you mean it, because it's cruel and I refuse to continue tolerating it. No op. You need to sit down and talk to him and explain that threatening to dump you every argument is not an okay way to communicate. Why did he get you such an expensive ring if he is obviously uncomfortable with it? My 16F mother 50F gets angry whenever adults show me affection or are nice to me, and I don't know why. Posted it in another subreddit and trying my luck here too because I wanted another point of view before confronting my mom. Right, so here goes. My mom is weird when it comes to affection. She's too rough, too uncertain sometimes. I would have never applied this word to describe her when I was younger, but now I realize she is too opposed to it. And, frankly, when I visit my grandmother, I can guess why. In short, she's the kind of woman who wouldn't be caught dead embracing me, which is why I don't understand her reactions. So here's where lay the problem. She acts like I betray her in the worst way there is when another woman tries to hug me. My paternal aunt's friend used to babysit me up till I almost finished middle school, so she and I have a close relationship, which my mother was never okay with. Or when a friend's parent tries to advise or parent me or something like that, even her sister-in-law isn't spared. But then I think it's more because mom dislikes her. I think you got my meaning. My best friend's mom is a single mother with no daughters, so she always invites me to the spa, or to go shopping, and my mother and I would always fight about it. Like the worst kind of arguments you could possibly imagine. Most often than not, I wouldn't be allowed to go, which sucks. Another example so y'all can understand, I'll keep it short because I don't know if there's a character limit on this subreddit or not, but back when I was a kid, whenever my aunt's friend couldn't babysit me, there was this nice lady who would come supervise me. Well, this nice lady was fired. I'm still salty about that, in the end, because she was overly familiar with me. Whenever my mom walked in on her braiding my hair or hugging me or showing me any kind of affection, the lady would get scolded or yelled at before she was let go. I hope I've given you enough insight. How do I solve this problem? Do you guys have any idea why is she even acting like that? Too long didn't read. Mom gets weird and angry whenever another adult tries to parent me or show me any kind of affection, and I don't know why. Your mom sounds like she has issues, and I totally think you should talk about it, but confront is super strong phrasing, and getting into a fight with your mom isn't going to help here. You need to tell her that you don't like your relationship with each other, and open a dialogue. Maybe work on being affectionate with her first, or suggest seeing a family counselor. I don't want to assume anything for your mom's life or reasoning, but if she's really unsure about how to be loving to you and seeing how other women behave very familiar with you, maybe something happened to her when she was young that she wants to protect you from, or maybe she gets jealous or hurt seeing you getting affection that she's having trouble giving to you. A really good opener is, "Mom, I really love you. I'm having a hard time, can we talk?" I've witnessed this kind of dynamic once before. When I was much younger, the grandparents were cold and distant, the mother was incapable of giving affection, and the kids were all but banned from receiving support or affection from other trustworthy adults. They get in blow-up fights with their mother about it, while I awkwardly called my parents to pick me up. I caught up with one of the kids later in life, and they mentioned that their mom's paranoia was getting worse. Turns out that the reason their mom blocked them from having healthy, normal relationships with adults is because she believed that any physical contact, emotional vulnerability, or one-on-one quality time between children and adults was fundamentally, uniformly predatory. In essence, she thought every adult who wanted to be a supportive presence in her children's lives was actively attempting to groom and harm them. But she didn't communicate that, or maybe couldn't put words to it. She just exploded on both adults and her kids when she thought lines were crossed. My guess is that no one had ever modeled healthy, normal affection towards kids to her. Whether that's your mom's problem, or if it's that she's jealous and insecure, or both, or something else entirely, you're not your mother's parent. It's not your job to fix this situation, and it's not your job to dig into her psyche to pick apart her motivations. So while I'd echo the recommendations of others to have a calm conversation with her where you mention this behavior and what you wish was different, I'd also concur with many of them that ultimately it's your mother's responsibility to fix this within herself. I'm so sorry that you're in this position. Sounds like your mother has some past trauma around affection from adults that she's projecting onto you. Yeah, I'm almost hesitant to go this route because it is terribly sad if so, but, to echo what I think you're saying, maybe something happened to mom that made her feel like affectionate adults are a danger. Your mother feels guilty for not showing you enough affection. She knows that this is not normal. She probably also knows that it's not good for you. So when someone else is affectionate toward you, this makes her feel guilty. She tries to get rid of the guilt by getting angry at you for accepting that affection. She has a problem, but she is in denial about that. She would rather pretend that it's your problem, that you should not accept affection from anyone but her. Solving this problem would require finding out why she is not comfortable with giving affection, and getting her to deal with that fact. Is she also uncomfortable with receiving affection? There is no way to get her to deal with it until she stops pretending that this is your problem.